Hi everyone, today I am doing a using trash to create treasure video. I'm going to be creating two nautical style pieces here. This is a challenge hosted by Casey from Coffee with My Sunshine and Jessica from Measure and Mix. I'm going to have the links to both of their channels in my description below. So for my first project, I'm going to use these 3 Saratoga water bottles. These were going to be in the recycle bin, but I think that the blue color is so pretty that it's just going to be perfect for a nautical style coastal item. It's just such a pretty cobalt color. So to start with, I'm just going to remove the labels there with my handy dandy little razor blade that I use for a bunch of stuff like that. Really saves your nails. Instead of peeling those labels off, you just use that razor blade, and I'm just careful to try to use that and not cut myself and just always work away from my hand. And then I'm using this Goo Gone to clean off the gunk. It just gets all of that adhesive off really nicely. But it is rather oily, so I'm just washing the bottles off real quickly there. And so I'm using some sisal twine, and I got this at Lowe's a couple of months ago, and so I've been saving it for a nautical style project. I feel like I use jute twine all the time, so I thought that this sisal twine would be kind of a new product, something new, something different. And so I'm just using a little bit of glue because I don't want that glue gun, that material can really show through and look gunky. So just a little dab of glue, and I'm just starting at the top of the bottle and working my way down because it's just easier to work since the bottle has a curve there. It's easier to go top down on this piece and just wrapping it around. And I just want to hide the logo there. Just gonna go as low as that Saratoga logo there. So if you are new to this channel, I love doing trash to treasures, DIYs, anything involving flowers, florals, wreaths, stuff like that. This is my hobby, and I do a lot of these challenges. So think about subscribing by clicking the little subscribe button on the lower right hand side there. And also, if you click the bell, YouTube will give you a notice whenever I upload a new video. And so I just kind of cleaned up the rope and also just started with the larger size rope. So I had sisal twine for the lower half and now sisal rope for the top, and I just want to hide the that little area there that kind of just shows that it's just a recycled bottle. The little area where the cap adheres, I'm gonna hide those little grooves. And I just did 3 rows of the this heavier sisal rope, and then I just trim it kind of on a little bit of a diagonal and just a little bit of glue because I don't want the glue to show through, and I'm just going to tack it in place there. And so that was it to cover the bottles. This is really easy, and it was just fun to use the glue, just two items, just rope and glue for this project. And so I'm just going to line up all 3 of them in a row, and I put a little bit of glue in between each bottle just to tack them, kind of to hold them in place temporarily, so that I could just use the rope just to wrap around the edges and just give it just kind of create a holder with the rope, just so that all 3 of them make a nice little line there. And I actually had to kind of hold the tops of the bottles with my chin because you almost need like 4 hands to do this project. But they finally came together because the rope does stick to itself. So once I get the first couple of rows, then the rest of them were pretty easy. And so I just kept them on the my tabletop there. I just rotated them around and added a little bit more rope so that they just all stick together. So check out in my description below, I will have a link to the playlist for everyone else's video, so you can access everyone else's video who's participating in this challenge. So check them out. I always get lots of ideas. It's always fun to see what other people are doing, turning trash into home decor items. And just for the flowers here, I'm going to use some light green hydrangea that I got at Dollar Tree last fall, I think. But I think the green and the blue is going to look really pretty. And you always see hydrangea at the shore and at the beach in that sandy soil, so I think it'll be perfect for kind of a nautical look. And I have some of the darker color here, and then I have 3 of the darker, kind of a darker green hydrangea here, and then I have 1 branch that was actually just a little bit lighter in color there. And so I think it's always really nice to combine kind of a lighter and a darker one. So I just stuck those in there as well. So I have a little color variation. And so there it is. That's my little nautical project. Little centerpiece there. I think that'll be good for a coffee table or maybe an end table. Nice summer decoration. And so for my second project, I'm actually going to use this wreath frame that I had tried on another project. And that's why it has that little bit of jute twine all wrapped around there. But I'm not even going to bother to remove that. It's fine, because actually the rope sticks to the rope, so that twine will just be a little bit more of a surface there for the rope to adhere to. And so I'm using the rest of that sisal rope and just wrapping it around the edges here. And because it's an arc, so I just probably every 3 or 4 loops there, I did sort of another loop. And sorry, this is out of camera a little bit, but with maybe the 4th one, I kind of overlapped it a little bit so that I could compensate like for that arc. I hope that's clear. And so I just kept going around the edges there. Like that's one of the areas there. I was trying to do an extra couple loops like every, almost like it's a clock, but that didn't actually work. I just wound up doing probably 2 rows of the rope all around, because it just has to be tighter on the inside. And so yeah, so this just came together pretty nicely. And I really like the look of the sisal rope. And I made sure to put the glue on the inside of the frame, because I did wind up using a lot of glue. That rope is pretty thick, and so I did need a lot of glue kind of to hold it in place. So I didn't want it to show through on the top, so I just made sure that I always had the glue on the inside there. So this was kind of easy to put together. I did work in little pieces because the rope all together, as you can see, I lost that nice little coil. It turned into a mess pretty quickly. So I just wound up cutting pieces of the rope and working in little sections, because the rope got all tangled up if I tried to use the entire spool. So I just kept gluing, kept using little pieces. And so for my florals, I am using some dried hydrangea that I actually cut down last year and just dried in my garage. And I have a couple of different colors here. Some are almost a little pink, some are green, and some are just kind of a tan. All of these petals just kind of dry in different colors, and so I'm just overlapping them, just using my glue gun and just covering up probably that 1/3 of the wreath that I don't have the rope on. And so I think these real hydrangea are like perfect for a nautical kind of theme because, yeah, we all know they grow in sandy soil and they like the beach. So these are so pretty because there's just such a nice variation in color in the petals. And I cut these down in the fall, September and October. Now I'm in South Jersey, so it's a good time in our location to cut hydrangea down. That works well because they're pretty much in full bloom and it's right before they've sort of started to wilt or dry up. So I've cut them down and then I just leave them in my garage in a little bit of water and they just kind of dry as these big poofy cloud-like items. And so I just dab them around the wire frame and it does a nice job of hiding the wire there. And so because there's such a variation in the color and the texture, I thought that was plenty. I'm not combining this with any other leaves or any other florals or anything like that. I just thought that this was fine to keep the two elements, the rope and the hydrangea petals, and just keep this a really nice, simple, pretty design. Now I am going to spray this with, I have two items, clear coat, and I've heard that hairspray does a nice job of sealing these dried flowers, these petals, so that they don't keep falling off every time you shut the door or open the door. So I am going to use some, probably both. I'll see. I'm going to try the hairspray first because I know where my hairspray is. So I'm going to put some hairspray on this to seal it and keep all the petals in place. And so that was pretty much it. So this, you can really see kind of, I hope you can see on this video, the variation in the color. It's really some nice lime greens, some pinks, a little bit of purple. And these were limelight hydrangea that I dried there. And so just for a little bit of decoration, I do have a little bit of raffia here. And so I'm sorry, this is absolutely getting cut out of my frame. Okay, there we go, sorry. It's back. And so just a little bit of raffia bow there, I think is gonna do the trick. That's just gonna be plenty. I like the natural element of the raffia. I think it's gonna go nicely. Raffia kind of goes nicely, I think, with dried flowers because it's also a natural element. And I'm just gonna put this kind of at, I guess like 2 o'clock if we were talking about place on a clock there. And so just remove more of those strings. That always happens whenever you use the glue gun. I just pull those out. And then I just filled in a little bit more with some of the hydrangea. I just wanted to make sure that the frame was entirely covered front and back. And so yeah, so they do a pretty nice job of covering everything, covering all the mechanics there, hiding all the stuff in the back. And so I think this is going to be really nice. I hung this up just there in my sunroom, although that's not the best light, but I think it'll look nice for either an inside wreath or an outside wreath. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to our hosts for hosting this channel, Casey and Jessica, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.